So I'm going to open Tableau Public on my computer. And this is the kind of the home page where you would get started using Tableau. You can see in my case, I have a couple of projects that are appearing here within this particular interface. These are just some that I've worked on in the past. If you're new to Tableau, you won't see anything here. But if you have created some visualizations in the past, you probably see some of those here. Although all of mine are not here, many of them are on the cloud, and I can connect to them and open them within this interface if I wanted. But at this point, I just want to, again, give you kind of a quick introduction to Tableau, beginning with connecting to the data source and the options that you have. To begin with, if you notice over here, you'll see this big connect icon. From this point, the most common file type would be the Microsoft Excel file type, but you also have some other options here. A text file, for instance, which is handy if you do not have Excel, for instance. If you're a Mac user like I am, and you only have numbers, you could convert your numbers file to a text file and then connect it through that option. JSON files, PDF files are also here, as well as spatial files. These would be things like shape files, for instance, for GIS and mapping, and then any kind of like specific statistical file types you would connect there. You could also connect to servers, and this is where things get a little bit different between the free version, the public, the Tableau public version versus the Tableau desktop version, the desktop version being the paid version. You have many more options to connect to server data with the premium version. In this case, though, if you wanted to connect to a data source that you have saved, let's say through Google Drive, you could do that here. At this point, though, we're just going to go ahead and connect to the sample data, which is an Excel file. So I'm going to select Microsoft Excel, and then I'll be shown the options that I have available to me. And notice I'm only able to select naturally Excel files. In my case, I have saved that sample data to my downloads. It's there. And so I'll go ahead and select that using the updated sample data, introduction to Tableau. Open it, give it a moment to connect. And this is also something where if you're using the browser-based version, sometimes this connection bit can take a little bit longer than the downloaded the downloaded Tableau public version. Okay, at this point, though, we have connected to the data, and I can confirm that by noticing under the connections tab here that we have that same data source that I referenced earlier, the updated sample data. Within this, the next step is this is an Excel spreadsheet, and if you're familiar with Excel spreadsheets, you'll know that they have the tab options within Excel, right? So you can have multiple spreadsheets open. In this case, this particular sample data only has one tab, and that is the smaller tree census data. And so I would see it here, and it's already populated within this data connection pane. If you had multiple tabs in your data source, you would just need to select one of them and drag it into this view here. And once you've done that, you'll then see the data populated here. This is very much tabular formatted, very similar to the spreadsheet itself, right? And so if you read it from left to right, you'll see the column headings here, which should match your the sample data that we're using, or the headings that you have in your own data. And then you'll also see all of the metadata about each of those headings here, the information within each column. Notice, though, something unique to Tableau is that we have these various icons here. These are just the various variables or fields. So in this case, this is Tableau is identifying or analyzing the data that we've connected and providing it with some sort of attribute. In this case, this is a number field, hence the number sign. This is a calendar field. This is a text field. And we should have at least one more, some geo fields here. And you can see those icons which are represented there. Sometimes Tableau is incorrect, though, or wrong. And if you ever need to change these, it's just a matter of selecting those particular fields. So in this case, you could change that. If it were a date, for instance, which does sometimes happen, you could change it to a date. So on and so forth. Notice, though, in this case, this is actually a date field, so it's got it correct at that time. But occasionally, Tableau will recognize those number sequence as numeric values as opposed to dates. So that would be just one example of something you would need to correct. At this point, you can certainly kind of browse through your data and just confirm that all of those various fields are correct. And you can also update the heading names or column headings if you'd like, but you don't have to at this point. Notice also on the left-hand side here, these are just all of the headings. It's sort of a condensed version if you want to quickly review the field types